Yeah, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to our panelists and our audience. I am Aina Ayuni, your moderator for today's forum. I am a student of Renewable Energy Sources Study of University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Our first panelist for today is Muhammad Aidil Nazri bin Anwar, a production manager and a researcher from Solar Energy Research Institute, SERI. And our second panelist is Muhammad Danish Imran bin Azman, professional PhD, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering, Energy Efficiency, and Renewable Energy by Research. Our third panelist, which is Muhammad Haziq Din bin Sarudin, as an environmental engineer from Royal Renewable Energy Company REC, also researcher of hydropower. For today's topic, we will talking about renewable energy in Malaysia. It is known in general that non-renewable energy resources based on fossil fuels are overused for their generation, for electricity, transportation, and also in industries. Non-renewable energy sources become insufficient, as a result increasing its demand. Additionally, non-renewable energy is damaging to the environment since it releases harmful gases like carbon dioxide. Therefore, it is crucial that we conduct additional research on this subject and develop more renewable energy sources. So I would like to ask our panelists, our first panelist, will you please share your thoughts on how Malaysia may develop its renewable energy sources?
Assalamualaikum and good morning. I think my thought about Malaysian can develop its renewable sources is, we all know that Malaysian is a wet and humid country, so we should not focus on one particular energy sources such as hydroelectric and thermal energy. As you can see around the Malaysia, there's quite numbers of energy sources that work as hydroelectric and thermal to generate electricity. So why not we have to appreciate our landscape and geographic in Malaysia, so we can make a variety type of energy sources, renewable energy sources in a different place. According to my study, Malaysia has the potential to maximize its energy sources because of its weather and geographic landscape. Thus, we should take this opportunity to build more types of renewable sources in all suitable areas. For example, I think hydroelectric and thermal can change to more renewable energy. I did not say that two of the energy sources is bad, but as we can see, hydroelectric is quite expensive and it is take a lot of space. People and animals have to displace just to build it. And moreover, gas fired, also known as thermal, is non-renewable energy that release quite number of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. So I think it's quite bad for the environment. We should try to explore a variety of sources such as solar, geothermal, and biomass to stabilize them. In return, we have a huge amount of energy from a different source. So I think that's my opinion. So Malaysia can get more of renewable sources in different places. Right, thank you.
I do agree with your opinion. Solar energy much better. Sure is much better choice since it does not require much amount of space that need to be exploited, but it does require huge amount of money to install it for, especially for huge industry. What is your opinion about this?
For cost, I think for it will be a bit costly for the installation. But as we can see in term of long run, first, solar does not require fuel. So that means that solar power can create large amount of electricity without the uncertainty and expense of secure the fuel. And secondly is solar power in term of the long run can have a lower electric bills, lower carbon footprints, and lower potential higher home values. So according to my research, when we use the solar panel for 3 years, it will be a payback. To put it simply, it will stabilize the value of the solar panel itself. So I think for the long run, it will be more cheaper, and day by day, also year by year, the cost of the solar panel is reduced. I think for the 20 years, about the 80%, I think the cost is reduced. And I did not think the budget will be a disadvantage since the maintenance is also low.
Thank you, panelist one. Then we move on to our panelist two. What do you think of Malaysia's reliance on non-renewable sources? What renewable energy sources may be an alternative in its place?
So, based on my study, I think for Malaysia, our country has always been dependent on its oil and gas reserve. With reference to the statistic from Petronas, since the year 1974, Malaysia has already produced 9 billion barrels of oil and 50 trillion cubic feet of gas. This means that currently Malaysia produces uh, I think currently Malaysia these days produces around 660,000 barrels of liquids and approximately 7.0 billion cubic feet of gas per day. So Malaysia's an oil gas reserve now are expected to be depleted by 2029 based on its current output, which is why the need to use a renewable energy resource in our country has become more important than ever. Which is why for the second question, in my opinion, I agree with the first panelist, and I also think that solar energy is one of the best way to get a clean energy. This is because Malaysia has a high solar energy radiation potential, with the average amount of daily sunshine ranging from 6 to 8 hours. As solar energy is a clean energy, it won't cause pollution to the surrounding nature, and solar power is also scalable, which means that it can be used to supply power to factories and even residential house.
Then can I ask a question? What is your opinion on how dependency to solar energy during rainy season? Since we have a long term of rainy season in Malaysia, does it will require much more money and expense to install bigger solar storage?
In my opinion, there's no need to spend or install a bigger or spend more money to expand our solar storage. This is because solar energy, as we know, can be gathered through the use of solar panel. The solar panel is actually invented to be used, which to be used to is invented so that it can be used in direct or indirect sunlight to generate power. Though they are most effective in direct sunlight, which is why during rainy seasons, solar panel will still work as usual, even though the light is reflected or partially blocked by the clouds. Rain actually helps to keep the panels operating efficiently by washing away any dust or dirt collected on the panels. With that being said, it is not required for anyone that want to use solar energy during rainy seasons to install more solar panels unless they wanted to compensate any power loss during this particular season. Thank
It is interesting facts there. Then can I ask panelist three? Since we talk about solar energy, we also have our main sources of renewable energy in Malaysia also hydropower, and it is in your experience, right? And how can it be more developed?
Okay, thank you for moderator and other panelists for sharing their ideas and current situation. So for our current situation in Malaysia right now, um, we know that hydropower is one of the main bone or main income for generate electricity for to all region in Malaysia. Of course, in south, west, and to or to the Sabah and Sarawak. But for me, this aspect is very useful to use it, fully use it, because it's very suitable, which is panel number one and panel number two said it. Our country is very, very good at weather, which is very humid and rainy, which is contain a lot of water during the rainy season, or because Malaysia also have a rainy season around the end of the year or starting of the year. So from while that, we can also make it fully using it. So because we know that hydropower, because our country is a maritime country which is surrounding by water, so we needed to fully use it. And also there's a government also researching with another NGO company about the research on hydropower generator to make it more efficient and more reliable. So there's a study where I read it on internet about there's a research on how to make a generator hydropower without building a dams, without need a more space, a more landscape. That before that we can see that current hydropower using a lot of space, and now the reason because of my idea here is according to the National Hydropower Association. So Malaysia hydropower is become the main power generator and is increasingly become the role according to the climate that just I said. So mostly generated power in our country are using coal and natural energy. But like I said, they are looking for a new technology or new ways to reduce it and um, to to reduce our reliable and depending on natural gas or coal, because we know Malaysia there's a lot of natural gas or coal out there. So this also want to follow the UN SDG, which is the United Nations Development Goal of Sustainable Development Goals, which is point number 7, which is affordable and clean energy. So furthermore, we can furthermore, if Malaysia using a multi-user of power generator, it will be costly for our country. But if Malaysia or our country want to make research about other renewable energy, such as wind, so if we talk about wind condition or speed of wind in Malaysia, even though we have a rainy season with a lot of incoming water, so I think it's not good for us to make it happen. Because if you search or go to according to the study, the wind energy on Malaysia is not estimated 2 miles per second or 2 meter per second, and so there no points that we want to make a wind as our new renewable energy. So I think that's it for me.
Then can you share your idea on how to evolve the hydropower energy in Malaysia, and also your opinion about other renewable resources that are to be developed in Malaysia, others than solar energy and hydropower?
All right. For this question, I think I already told you about that the technology, the hydropower without dams. But also, I have read it about research outside our country where they want to build a dams on the coastal line, which is the on the which is on the sea, where dams and wave are building in together and transfer it on the generator where can generate electricity more efficiency. So from that, I think that is one of the evolved idea that I can give, or the research that have. And for your next question is how about my opinion on other renewable sources. But I think for me, I agree with panel one and also panel two that agree about the solar energy, which is the because Malaysia have a lot of radiation due about the solar energy, which is can cut costs and can give back money that we invest in building a solar panel, which is nowadays we can see that on Malaysia right now, on the town, or which is on the house, we can see that many people are now building their own solar panel. It quite costly for me, but for me it can bring our back money and cut costs from using electricity that have given by TNB, our electricity company for Malaysia, and also they can using back their sun energy to use it on night, or maybe can use it all day because the sun is nowadays weather on Malaysia is very sunny and very humid. So yeah, I think that is my point. Thank you.
Alright, I do agree with your point. Then okay, I think today's discussion uh coming to an end. So to conclude, our country, Malaysia, does have many chances on developing sources of many various sources of renewable energy as an alternative of the deficiency of non-renewable energy resources such as coal, oil, and gas. And this also will help our environment preservation in our like green sorry green such as greenhouse effect and global warming. So renewable energy sources were now widely available. For instance, solar and hydropower, which we discussed just now, two of our nation's primary renewable energy sources can be greatly developed for wider application. Therefore, we as a Malaysian, we should expand the currently available renewable sources and also conduct research on new renewable sources. That's all from me. Thank you.